aside from loathing what Thanksgiving does stand for, I am intrigued and challenged by what it should stand for. A time to reflect. What should you be thankful for, James? And if I know myself, I've sure put a tremendous amount of time in it my whole life, being the only lab rat at my disposal to try and figure out how to help humanity. If I understand myself, I pretty much take a sunny day with a wind at our tail or a 40-mile-an-hour headwind like we just went through in the pass coming down into Albuquerque from Moriarty. I take the sugar and the lemon. I just do. I'm too selfish not to. I'm too selfish to have a day that doesn't feel like a day worth spending. I'm just not willing to have a day where I let myself get caught up in the avalanche of miseries. Rather, I metabolize them into a life that seems worth living to me. And I wish everyone did that, because I see an awful lot of people that would be less miserable and less joyless if they did that. Anyway, one way of trying to provoke myself into reflecting on what to be thankful for, because I don't spend much time on what to be not to be thankful for. Thanks for that 40-mile-an-hour wind up in the pass. Proved to me we could get through it. Taught me some things about cycling, really. One way I challenge myself is, James, what if things that have happened would not have happened, or would go away, would be erased from history if you had not been thankful for them? Had been erased from your life if you were not thankful for them. And that puts me in a place where I can attack the problem. James, what are you thankful for? Mostly, I'm grateful for the leaders, the pioneers, the practitioners in the deadly field of soul health, by whatever name. Protecting, fighting for, rejuvenating, rehabilitating, strengthening, training the human soul, individual by individual, which sometimes has a collective training effect. Our soul, our mammalian brain, clinically, the limbic system, clinically, not to diminish our head and our flesh, those aspects of our nervous system, but they are murder when they're in charge. They are not designed to be in charge. Our culture puts them in charge, and we can look at the wreckage, we can look at the carnage around us. Trying to deal with the wind here. Most importantly, by far, the man Jesus. By far, as evidenced by his offspring, Albert Schweitzer, Dorothy Day, Leo Tolstoy, Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, Walter Rauschenbusch, directly. And indirectly, many of the greatest souls throughout history, as captured on the website lesigiabeing.com. I think it's .com. LSGIA being.com, I think it is. And such warriors for the soul alive today that I have the privilege of knowing. Shodo Spring, Diane Wilson, come quickly to my mind and are rarely far from it. And I am not suggesting that they or any of these people think of themselves that way, but that's what they are. That's the effect they have. That's the function that they serve, is to reawaken, rehab our cold, dead souls, murdered by our sick culture, some of which can be brought back alive, and what brings them back alive is witnessing an alive soul among us, heroically fighting for other souls, heroically fighting for what's good. I'm not trying to provide an exhaustive list here. Quickly, I can't think of anything in my life that I'm not thankful for. In the world, I am thankful for almost nothing except for the people and those like them that I just mentioned. The heroes for humanity, our soul, our mammalian brain, our limbic system, the heroes for them. That everything pales in comparison. Even the magnificent vistas of nature pale by comparison with the fully alive, fully active, and that's a redundancy, human soul, humanity in action. Everything pales by comparison. But that doesn't mean I don't notice other things. I sure do. Every obstacle I've had in my life, including that barking dog that, after having my finger almost ripped off by a pack, worries me a little bit. I'm thankful for the Halt product, a spray canister that apparently postal agents use, that I can see right here and grab pretty quickly. I'm grateful for all of the obstacles, all of them. I wasn't smart enough at the time, but all of the adversities were necessary, are the necessary ground for our growing, for our gaining capacities, for our developing capacities that might be of use to others. I'm grateful for learning that we are not here to serve. There's a quote, a meme that comes across my page every once in a while. It came across yesterday. Well, there are a number like them. The one I'm thinking of right now. Man can endure anything if he knows why. I know Viktor Frankl has said stuff like that. In a previous video today, blog, I said Viktor Frankl and Norman Finkelstein is the name I was looking for. But here it's Viktor Frankl. And I have not the capacity to make superficial meaning of anything as a self-defense mechanism, but I have an unquenchable need to make real meaning out of everything, to make it meaningful by having it grow me in a way that might be helpful to others. ponderously slow, but I think I've had some success. I know I've had some success. I'm grateful for Islam, at least as practiced, as obviously must be practiced by the people in Palestine. I have learned so much by watching them retain their humanity in the face of the Holocaust, our American-funded and weaponized and politically protected Holocaust. They are, without question in my mind, the spiritual kin, the spiritual descendants of the man Jesus. That's a testable hypothesis. Have the understandings that animated Jesus really been passed down and animated the Palestinians? It is a testable hypothesis. I may be wrong. It seems impossible to me that I'm wrong. I've never seen such a thing. I am thankful for the souls, those who are Jews, as God would recognize them. Jews were Jews, whether it's according to Jesus or according to the Torah, that abide by the covenant, it's called, with God, that behave according to his teachings, according to his commandments, which the Zionists violate as only Satan could perfectly violate, could perfectly embody the antithesis of. I am grateful for the Jews that God and Jesus would call Jews, fighting with their lives, at risk of their lives, at risk of everything that man values, that the head and flesh value, for the souls, for the life, for the human rights, for the dignity, for the humanity of themselves, which they would lose if they detached from the fight, and their object being those sacred things for the Palestinians. The Jews in Israel doing that, Gideon Levy, Amara Haas, Ilan Pape, exiled from Israel for his work. Bet Selem, probably. And the Jews in America, Jewish Voice for Peace, if not now. Just extraordinary souls, amazing souls. Inspiring souls. Well, I think that's enough for now. I could go on for hours, but I think that's enough for now. I'm thankful for Mark Hightower, the nearest individual to a 2024 disciple of Jesus that I see. But I'm grateful to Adam. I'm a fella I met, talked to in a Walmart parking lot. I experienced him as young James. There's a video log on here somewhere about that. I'm grateful to the Amish men, 3 or 4 that I met individually at different times, that seemed to have escaped The fiction of Paul, the fictional Jesus from Paul, had been captured to some degree by the real man, Jesus, in the 4 canonical Gospels, and the hope that that gives me for the world, individuals like that. Abraham and, oh boy, I had her name. Maybe it'll come to me. His partner in the car yesterday in the Walmart parking lot. They're honest, listening. They're being willing to consider that we've been fed the wrong Jesus, the fabricated Jesus, and that there's a real one right there on paper for us to discipleship ourselves to. I'm grateful for the life that 3 years of immersion in the 1,010 teachings of the man Jesus is giving me. Secondarily, for myself, those physicians refusing to leave certain death in the hospitals in Gaza are thankful for their skills as physicians. Secondarily, primarily they're thankful for them because maybe they can help another soul before the United States and Israel murders them. That's how I experience what I've gotten through this 3 years, ongoing, endless as far as I can see. I don't see an end coming to it of my immersion in the example and teachings of the man Jesus in those 1,010 instructions and example that he gave us on the jesianity.info website, or to be cut and pasted by you out of any Mark, Luke, Matthew, and John Gospels that you grab. I'm thankful for this ministry. As I told Abraham yesterday, and his compatriot, up until 3 years ago, my personal prayer was, please get me out of here. I hate this world. I hate what we've done to it. I hate what we're doing to each other. Please get me out of here. But 3 years ago, after this immersion in Jesus' example and teachings began, oh, wait, hold on a second. If you can keep me functional, I think I can help someone here. Please, if it's your will, keep me functional. Keep the vehicle functional. Well, secondarily, keep the vehicle functional. I think that's going to go away when Trump steals the little bit of Social Security I get from the huge amount that I paid in as an executive in high tech for the years. I'll continue the ministry in prison. I'll continue the ministry on the streets. I'll continue the ministry in homeless shelters. But as I said, prison, because that's where they want the likes of us, non-rich, white, antichrist Christian monsters. I'm so grateful for this ministry, and the vehicle is a wonderful tool for that. A wonderful tool for that. A wonderful vehicle for that. Tool is the wrong thing. I wasn't smart enough to think this thing up. That was my soul's doing. Ongoing process. But when I look at what it does, oh, it wakes people up in so many ways. The back of the vehicle, the back flap says, I see your soul. Soul? Soul? What? Whatever they think, it puts them in touch with something that our society crushes and distracts their attention from. Wait a minute, you sleep in that thing? It's like a coffin. And someone is caused to think, oh, wait a minute. He seems alive. He seems joyful. Maybe I don't need everything that society has told us to have. It's a wonderful thing.